Also, I have ambidextrous safety that I purchased from Brownells for about 30 bucks. That was over there. Very useful to have. God forbid you're in a time is life situation and you need to manipulate that safety on and off. God forbid something happens to your weapon hand. You can't use your right arm. And God forbid you have to use your left arm to shoot. It's always good to have an ambidextrous safety for your own protection. That one goes for about 30 bucks. I also have the cheapest thing I probably have on this as far as usage is the free float rail, which I purchased from UTG for about 70 bucks online. It's a carbine length 7-inch free float rail, and some people will say, you know, UTG, you know, I don't know if I want to go that way. Personally, I don't think it's that big of a deal. As far as for my application goes, I'm not competition shooting. You know, with this particular weapon, I'm just going to the range, and the free float rail, the design in and of itself helps the accuracy of the weapon. And I could have gone a little more pricey. I could have gone, you know, Daniel Defense and bought a $250 free float. But you know, what's the point? For my particular application, I'm not going to Durkistan, throwing this particular weapon in the sand. That's not my application for this. You know, I'm going to the range with this. Even if I were to drop it, this UTG free float, pretty solid, guys. You know, I don't knock it. If it wasn't solid, I wouldn't be using it right now. Plus, for the most part, when I do use this weapon, I have rail covers on it anyway. So what does it really matter? You know, that rail isn't going to see World War III. It's not going to see ridiculous abuse because I've got Troy covers on there. So, you know, so just something to keep in mind. Think about what you want and what your application is, and you know, purchase accordingly, because that's the best you can do for yourself. I also have a Mako T-Pod tactical foregrip and bipod right there. You can see that. That one goes, you can find that online on eBay or at any of the online outlets for about $120, give or take. $120 if you find it on sale. And you know, there's a couple of different variants on grip/bipods. Obviously, the grip pod is a very popular one. You know, a lot of people I know have them. I've dealt with them before. But for my particular application, I enjoy the Mako T-Pod a little bit better. I'll give you my reasons. First off, I think it's a more stable shooting platform as far as the way the legs come out and actually diverge into this wider stance of an A shape. It's more closely resembles a bipod when you're using it as a bipod. It's also height adjustable. I don't know if you can see right there, but this Mako has 1-inch increment adjustments that actually you could probably let's see, 5. So there's at least 4 levels of adjustment here that you can work with. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually 5. 5 levels of adjustment you could work with here, depending on your particular application and where you need it to be as far as height goes. So for your shooting platform. The grip pod, the only gripe I have with the grip pod is that if you ever seen a grip pod, the grip part is always on there. So it's actually like a straight line. There's the grip, and then legs shoot out from the bottom in a smaller A shape. Go online, you could see that. And that to me is a less stable shooting platform. You have more possibility of a little bit of sway in the muzzle side to side. It's also easier to, especially depending on what kind of position you're shooting from, for the gun to jostle left or right. If those legs, because those legs, the actual distance between the legs are much less than this Mako T-Pod is. So yeah, just a little bit of stability. The wider the stance on those legs, the better the stability on your shooting platform. Just a little background. Okay, what else? I have some Troy rail covers I purchased from a gun show in Allentown, PA. Pretty simple polymer rail covers. Can't really complain. The only thing I don't like about them is the color doesn't quite match the OD green I have on my Magpul parts. At some point that might change. I might actually switch out to a different coloration as far as my rail covers go. But for right now, they serve their purpose on my cheapo but functional, very functional UTG free float rail. Okay. I also have a Yankee Hill 2-piece gas block on there. As you can see right there, that's an OD green also. The reason I have a 2-piece is, I know what you're thinking, you know, you might have guessed it already. Because I live in New Jersey, when I had to take off my 8.2 front sight off, / gas block, front sight / gas block, I had to Dremel it off here because I had to clear this muzzle brake, which is now fixed to the barrel. So I had to Dremel it off and get rid of that gas block. Now the only gas block I could find to clear that front barrel, front muzzle brake, was this 2-piece. Thank you, Yankee Hill, for making this thing. There was obviously a market need for this product, with states that have ridiculous laws like New York, New Jersey. I think Massachusetts might be in there. No, Connecticut, California. It's insane. It's ridiculous, and they make you jump through hoops. And Yankee Hill made a gas block that could, obviously, being a 2-piece, clear that muzzle brake without destroying the barrel. And I thank them for it. If you want to keep that gas block on there nice and snug, you could put some blue Loctite on the hex screws before you screw them back in. Not a lot, just the tips, just a little bit, just to keep them on there. But eventually you're going to have to take them off to do things such as clean your gas tube and whatnot. From time to time, that's going to have to come off anyway. So just keep that in mind, guys. Especially if you're in one of the states that have those ridiculous laws. This DPMS, I mean, it's a beautiful weapon system. I would definitely put it up there with the Smith & Wesson, Rock River, Bushmaster, and the Olympic Arms stuff. Just as good, if not better in some categories. Price-wise, it's very affordable. I got mine for $9 and change when I picked it up, and it's functioned flawlessly. There's not a darn thing on this gun that needed to be replaced. I did replace a few things, but it's not because they were not functioning properly. It was because I just wanted to make this particular weapon all about me. This this weapon is mine in every way. Through the changes and modification I've made.